Oh my goodness. I've been talking this entire time and my microphone has been up. Quick rundown. Nieuport 17 taking off from Chérence and heading to Beauvais, not Bernay. We changed it up a little bit because that first, the initial flight was going to be very short. So we've got about an hour and a half ahead of us. You guys all know the rundown of how we do things on this channel. If you have any other questions, feel free to ask in the comments section. I will try to answer them as best as I can, as long as they are reasonable questions, of course. So we got a bit of a flying ahead of us. So plane's already started up. The only thing about this plane, let's look outside here real quick. This is it. It is not easy to taxi. That's the only one of the drawbacks, because it doesn't have a wheel. It has a little like piece of metal that's like a skid thing. So it's not easy to taxi around. So let's go ahead. Morning, Joseph. How are you, good sir? Nice to see you here. So this is a very, very basic plane. This was built before World War One and then during World War One. So let's go ahead and get in the air. Morning, Mick. How are you, good sir? Good to see you here. And away we go. No flaps, nothing spectacular on this aircraft. Very basic. Not a lot of thrills and chills and spills. But at least it's kind of a wide open sort of situation. All right, let's head towards just watching some good one. Yeah, I've watched a little bit of that over the other day or so. Somebody posted a video, some of the going ons, I guess you could say. All right, plane, come on, settle down here. All right, what was I gonna... Oh, yeah, let's get our picture real quick before I forget. There we go, that looks pretty cool right there. They had some really interesting cars this year. A lot more, yeah, I know, Mick, or Joseph. Yeah, I'm aware. Sunday's like the big, that's when they do most of the run up the hills and all that for the timed event. See who can take the record, if anybody can break the record, or the time that still stands, I believe. Oh yeah. Oh, you know what? No, we'll leave the auto, or we won't talk to ATC. There's no need to talk to them. Yeah, they I see a lot more electric stuff, which it's in stark contrast. And for those of you who know me, there's something about with racing. It is a there's something about the sound. If you don't have the sound necessarily, you don't have that emotional attachment. You know, like you have liveries of the cars. You know, you have like the Rothmans and Golf and, you know, Martini, all those liveries. You have a connection with, you know, people feel very connected to those. But when you don't have that, but also the sound, you know, like the Corvettes, the C5Rs had a 7-liter V8, and it made an amazing sound. So without that, with the electric, it's just like it's it's like gotta it doesn't seem the same, you know. Or in some cases, they have to make an artificial sound in order for you to know that there's even a vehicle there, you know. So yeah, I'm not a. I mean, I understand the you know, uh, an engine that is not got over your football. Yeah, I agree, Joseph. There is a lot of amazing cars, a lot of amazing technology, and all that. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just that I prefer. Now I did see because somebody uh, nine, somebody whose YouTube channel I watch. He did a couple of short. Well, he clipped it all together. Cars departing the start finish or the start line, but also yes, yeah, and I agree, Mick. Wow, this thing is just all over the place today. Um, where was I going with this? But the one thing that I noticed that, and I was waiting for it to happen, is now you have a lot more drifting cars show up, and I get it, it's a way to draw in the younger crowd who, again, and I'm not trying to be mean, but it's that Fast and Furious freaking crowd that they are trying to appeal to. And I don't know that necessarily that they are, but that is where they're going now. So you have all this drift nonsense. And I get it, going, sliding through the course on your way up the hill. It's not like you're going to beat the time. There's very little chance that they're ever going to top the timesheets there at Goodwood. It's a straight. You got to drive straight forward. None of this, a minor bit of sliding is normal, but when you're sliding on purpose the way that drifters do, it totally ruins it for me. But I'm waiting because some of those idiots, one of these, I kept waiting for one of them to go off the course, go right into the hail bales, and that was going to be the end of that. Now they could probably get back out and run later on because the hail bales aren't going to cause that much damage unless they really go hard, but the hay bales are going to give, so there's not going to be shouldn't be too much damage to the car. But yeah, I don't. Oh, I need to get this on so I know which way we're heading. Otherwise, because I'm talking and not paying attention to. Oh wow, we are way off course now. I don't even know where our line is. Okay, I totally screwed this up already. Where's our first one? Oh boy. Okay, hold on a second. I'm gonna have to put the airport. Yeah, I'm just waiting for somebody to totally bin it, and I'm not gonna even. I'm sorry, but I won't even feel bad for them when they do it either, because it's like utter nonsense to me. I never, like, I could see the appeal. Like, I get it. It's a part of that street racing mentality, that was popularized in, uh, you know, Fast and the Furious. So yeah, I don't really, not a big fan. Uh, but yeah, I think they're trying to draw in that newer crowd, the younger crowd. supposed to be passing LFPD. I'm looking for Bernay. It should be over this way. But yeah. Anyway, so but I've seen. I'm more curious about the speed runs up the hill. I'm not curious. I'm not really keen on the whole. I want to see. For me, I like the very classic cars, like the older Bugattis. The older cars, and seeing through the generation. That's what I'm more curious about. The rest of it, I'm like, nah, not interested. So. But I know that they're, but also an event like Goodwood is not. It's a. My understanding always was that it was a very kind of a high class event, the Festival of Speed and the revival. It's it's. They don't want the riffraff there, so to speak. So, they have to be careful. Is that her? Hold on a second. Let me look at something here real quick. Nope, it's not. But anyway, so anyhow, I had a tear when I saw Rain. Yeah, I know who he was. Yeah, I remember hearing about his. Yeah. Well, that's the thing is they always do the flyovers. The revival. I think they do the Spitfire flyovers, and it's a very, you know, for people of a certain age, there's a clear. Maybe is it. Let's head over there. Let's see, because I think I've been flying the wrong way. That's okay. We can just kind of tour around here. We're not in a particular hurry. Just cruise through the clouds here. What was I gonna say? Yeah, there's a curve named after him there at Laguna Seca. I think coming out of the corkscrew, that left-hander continuing going down the hill, that's named after him, I do believe. I really wish they would find because it's just so annoying to fly. With that thing going over the. But anyway, yeah. Let's see this. Okay, I can't go by that. I have to go by this. Looking for the line on the map. That is not our correct heading. On there. There's no real way to. I don't think there's a heading bug setting. That's it. But anyways, oh, so last night, the glorious weekly update came out. Not a lot. Matter of fact, it was slim pickings. There wasn't really anything there other than like the Grumbling Goose got an update. That was the only. There was nothing really other than some livery packs. Nothing worth even looking. There was no planes. I don't think there was even planes for the PC. Came out, and nothing else came out last night. So yeah, the lean. It's another lean week. And of course, I know that's because they're trying to get things sorted for the with the next sim update, there's still hard work on that. So there's a lot of places that probably would not aren't they're going to keep working through what's possibly going to be coming for sim update 10. So they're testing and rebuilding and whatnot. Now also, I am partaking in a what do they call it? I signed up on the Xbox. Now basically what I'm doing, I'm not. This isn't like the beta for Sim Update 10. That beta has not been released yet, but they are gathering information, and I decided to partake because the more people on the Xbox that partake, the more information they can get and try to figure out what's causing the crash to dashboards on the console side. So every time the sim crashes, it automatically sends a report, and so I don't have to write down what I was doing or anything. It automatically compiles that information and sends it to Microsoft for me to, for them to know what I was to look at it. Otherwise, I'd be going on to Zendesk all the time. So this kind of negates the need for that. How am I? Was I that far off? I thought I turned because we're supposed to be next leg was 64 nautical miles. So I feel like I'm lost. I don't think this is our airport down here either. Because if it was, we would have seen the. Wow, I totally lost my. I should have had the VFR map open. Oh well. Well, if we are. So if we keep going this way, we should kind of run into our first airport that we were supposed to fly over. Boy, it is really bumpy today. Anyways, so yeah, not much of note. Nothing really to write home about. That's not really helping me. Let me fly outside for a little bit here. Well, this thing really wants to keep climbing. Watch, now it's going to nose over. There's our biplane there. Yeah, I think if we continue down this way, we got plenty of gas to fly around. But yeah, nothing really of note. I think they are working on things for the next sim update. A lot of people are probably testing and all that, so alright, let me see. Alright, I gotta ask you, Joseph, since you said it's nice to see him back on the bike. Who is Wayne Rainey? Don't look it up. Tell me, if you can, in the chat. Who is Wayne Rainey? Sam. Who was he, Joseph? Let's test Joseph's knowledge, motorsports knowledge. Don't look him up. Who is he? Who is he? I'm just curious to see if you know. Oh, I know you know Mick. I'm asking if Joseph knows. Don't look it up, Joseph. Don't go Googling his name. If you know, let's see. Let's test your knowledge here. Who is he? And why was it nice to see him back on? Don't know. Okay. So that's fine. There's no when you said it was nice to see him back on the bike, I was like, okay, maybe you knew who he was and why it was nice to see him back on the bike. But that's okay. I wasn't sure. That's why I asked. No, you don't have to apologize. When you said it was nice, I thought you knew his story. So that's okay. Mick can tell you. Go ahead and give him the spiel, Mick. Give him the brief rundown of why it was nice to see him back on the bike. Educate young Joseph. That's LFFD. Well, it's not a matter of having whether you've been to Goodwood or not, Joseph. That's not the point. The thing about Goodwood and the Festival of Speed, which is this weekend, not the revival is a whole separate thing, but the revival or the Festival of Speed, I mean, you have uh, racing drivers from different eras who will go and either be like, I think was it a year or so ago they had Emerson Fittipaldi was reunited with the Lotus that he won the world championship in, the 72D. He was very emotional about it because he hadn't been in the car in forever. So you have things like that. Keanu Reeves has been showing up, the actor, because he likes motorbikes or motorcycles and all that. So he's been doing some runs up the hill and everything. Yeah, yeah. I think that is spot on, Nick. Yeah, he did race and he was going up in class and then had the accident. Um, but no, it's not so much. But if you know, see the thing about historic racing of any kind, whether it's the Festival of Speed or when I used to go to the Monterey Historics or anything like that, the great thing, the one thing I love the most about all that is there's all this history, all this stuff to take in, and yeah, he had, it was a really bad accident, and even though that they had safety equipment, it was really really bad. He's lucky to be alive, I think, for sure. If it could have easily gone badly. But yeah, that's the great thing is you learn about like a particular driver, or I mean, it's all some of it's about the drivers and their exploits, so to speak, like Ayrton Senna, for instance, or depends around the world. There's some names that are people automatically know who they are. Like you say Ayrton Senna, most everybody knows who Ayrton Senna is. Or in America, Bobby Rahal is a big name. Mario Andretti. So part of it is learning about their, the cars they drove, the years that they drove, um, uh, stuff like that. And then you have the cars themselves, that they were maybe pretty advanced for their time, uh, you know, that sort of thing. So that's the great thing about it. But you can there's so much stuff to learn that it's easy to kind of get lost in all that. The history and the learning about the drivers and their, the years that they raced and how dangerous it was and stuff like that. But yeah, I, and I'm going to say this, and I'm not looking at you, Joseph. I'm a firm believer, and it's okay that if you're not, like when, like if you follow a particular brand of car, let's say Jaguar, for instance, right? Jaguar has a very, rich motorsports history, and as well as creating some very beautiful road cars. So if you are a fan of Jaguar, right, you would probably have many books about them. You're always learning, always adding to your knowledge base about Jaguar, but doing so in a way that when you go to a car show, right? I think the first time I went to Amelia Island in 2015, they had an XJ13, which it's a well-known car if you know Jaguar's history. There was only like two made. It was very difficult to drive. It had a massive V12 in the back, but it was like the car was not very stable. It was like a handful to drive and all that. And I saw somewhere, and I don't remember where I saw it. Somebody said, "Wow, I did not know of the existence of the XJ13." And I'm like, I don't know that I would ever admit that in public, because it's like most people are like, what? You didn't, huh? How did you not know? So yeah, but that's the thing about motorsports and cars in general is that there's so much to learn that like when I really got serious about going down to Amelia Island, and one year I set myself a goal. I was going to get a picture of every car, every vehicle in the show, which is not easy to do because you have to wait for the gates to open. So if you have a VIP ticket, you get in ahead of everybody. However, pause for effect. The problem is that we're heading. Well, we're supposed to be heading to Beauvais. We're over France, basically. Monty Goblin, thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. So yeah, we were going to we're originally going to go to Bernay and land there, but because it was going to be a very short trip. But however, I'm kind of lost here. I'm just kind of flying the way I think it is, but That is our destination eventually, right there behind us. So I'm trying to keep an eye out for the thing. But anyway, so I'm going. You go around, and I get into the. Finally they open the quote unquote open the gates. Basically, they have staff there that and I think the year that I set that goal, the president of Lamborghini was there to unveil the Huracan in America. You know, so everybody was kind of entranced by that while waiting to go into the show field. So I go in there and I'm going, I'm taking pictures. Now, the one thing that I forgot to do, and I've tried to get better at it whenever I go to a car show, is I didn't take a picture of the little placard in front of the car to identify the car. So I was going bananas trying to figure out, you have a Ferrari, for instance, and okay, what Ferrari is this? Because a lot of times people will bring something that is a one-off, like just specially built for one time, especially styled or whatever, right? And then that's it. So you can kind of guess the year based on the body shape and all that, but sometimes I'm fine, thank you, Monty Goblin. How are you? There's that information isn't always forthcoming, and so when I started sorting out the pictures and labeling them, I was like, I would go nuts trying to find information about the car, and verify what other than it is a Ferrari, but what year and what all that kind of stuff. But there's that's the good thing, but it also can be a bit overwhelming because there's all that information out there that you can easily get lost looking into. But anyway, so basically what we're doing today, we're just flying. This is a vintage aviation day, but it's also, because I didn't fly yesterday, typically Thursdays is military aviation day, so we get a twofer today. This was used in World War I as a fighter plane. It was considered pretty advanced for its time. It was two brothers. Oh, I'm not on a server today. I'm not flying. Multiplayer will be tomorrow, Monty. 7:30 Eastern, 11:30 UTC, 12:30 UK. We're doing a P-38 Lightning flight. If you want to fly in the Spitfire or something else, you're more than welcome to. We're going to be flying. We're leaving from Creech Air Force Base and heading to Wendover, so Nevada to Utah, I believe. So, yeah, Saturdays for right now are the only multiplayer days. So, sorry. But basically what I do on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, I have vintage aviation flights, although that's going to change here in July because the vintage aviation thing is kind of drying up, the vehicles or the planes that we have available. Tuesdays we have jetliner, regional jet, or jetliners, regional jet like the Embraer 170 or 175, regional prop services like the Embraer 110, and then we'll also have business jet flights. That would be like the Cessna CJ4 and the Honda Jet, for instance. Also, it might be regional executive, like I've used the 208, the Cessna 208 as a executive sort of ferry. And then Thursdays we do have military aviation flights. That has been jets, but sometimes, it's been traditionally jets. The only time it hasn't been is when I've flown the Spitfire. And then Saturdays we have Lightning Saturdays. basically what I'm doing is we're touring all over. Hello, Eventual Squid. How are you? Oh, thank you. Yeah, just a fun little flight today. It was going to be a short one, but I figured I'd take us. This is not where we're landing. Isn't far from where the headquarters were for Nieuport Aviation in France. I was kind of looking up some information this morning about the company and all that kind of stuff. It's no longer in existence, of course, but just trying to learn a few things. So Saturdays we do that, and then Sundays I do a scenic flight. This Sunday we'll be kind of flying around Hong Kong for a little while. Just a nice, relaxing trip around. We'll take a around the Hong Kong harbor and just kind of fly around and just check. Now there's not a lot of points of interest, but we're going to fly around there and just kind of have some fun. And then Mondays, basically on Mondays and Wednesdays, what I've been doing is I'm doing a 32-leg flight from Amsterdam to Indonesia. It was a former 1930s KLM flight route that originated out of Amsterdam. It took them roughly a week to do the flight from start to finish. So they would fly 2 or 3 legs or maybe more during the day if they could. At least I would say 3, depending on how long the legs were. But so that's just too much flying for me to do. So what I've done is I broke it up into little chunks. The most have been about 4 hours, roughly. But generally we've been able to squeeze a little bit more speed out of the plane, and we can kind of cut the time down just a bit, but not by much. So we just hit the halfway point on Wednesday, so we're halfway to Indonesia. We are cutting through. We will be in, I believe, India here pretty soon. We're in Iran right now. So we just on Wednesday we landed in Jask, Iran. It's a military airfield actually, but where we're landing and all that is roughly either it's the same airport within reason, of course, because everything's been updated. There's been a few that no longer exist at all. So, but a lot of them have been turned into military airfields. So the getting information, when I'm making the flight plan, is not always very easy to figure out stuff. So, all right, I think we can. Yeah, let's just turn and head towards Beauvais. So yeah, that's what I do on my channel. I try to fly 7 days a week. I do have a Discord. I think the link is in the description area here on the Twitch. So it's not a chat or anything. It's basically I have it there so that I can update you. I update the flight schedule for that week, for the coming week or whatever. So like on Sunday after I do the flying, I will update the schedule for the rest of the week coming up. And then if I don't fly for any reason, then I put in that the flight's been canceled. So I'm a little disappointed. I got lost, so we didn't get to go over the airport like I wanted to. So all right, let's go ahead and turn back towards our yeah, that's when I'm like not interested, Joseph, but I know that's your thing because you got that Fast and Furious shenanigans in your blood. More power to you. Hey, if that's what you enjoy, that's what you enjoy. That's just not my cup of tea, so to speak. Alright, so let's head that away. So yeah, very, very basic biplane. Not a lot to it. You could see like when I turn, you could see the things move to like that. Let's see. You see, it's very subtle. Yeah. Well, I would think it. Yeah, because you're trying to control a car sliding through a corner, keep it on the track, and go through the corner as fast as possible. You know, I mean, I do understand that it does take some talent to do it. It's just like it doesn't do anything for me, you know. So yeah. All right, we're head over here to our destination. Just kind of cruise along here. Oh well. Well, at least we got some nice scenery, got some clouds. So yeah, tomorrow we'll be on the West Europe server. I'm going to use that for the time being unless it gets really bogged down. But Saturdays, if you want to fly, we'll be we're taking off from this is the airport code. Yes, that's the where we're taking off from, and we're heading to. Now we're not doing a straight shot. Okay, what we're gonna do is we're gonna I've got VOR to VOR basically, and that includes vortex, DMEs, and all that stuff. So we're gonna put in all that. We'll put in our frequencies and everything, and then we'll take off. But we're gonna follow that. We're not gonna do a straight shot there. We're gonna make our way there. It's going to be a bit of a long one though. We have 52 nautical miles, 65, 109, 103, and then 12. So once we get to our last marker, it's just a turn 12 nautical miles to the airport. So, but these are all former Army Air Corps airfields that we're flying to in the United States. So we started in California, we went to Arizona, up to Nevada. So we're going to Utah, and then we're going to go into Oregon, and then from Oregon up into the state of Washington, and then we'll zigzag our way across America for the time, until we get something else that piques our interest. So I was flying the Lightning quite a bit, and we may need to bring that back into the mixture because they've done some updates, and it's almost like you have to learn to fly it all over again, especially on the landings. The way I was doing them before, it's still that V12 engine is really got still too much. It's got a lot of power. So I had a solution, and it was working, but then yeah, they did an update, so it's like I got to go back to the drawing board, so to speak. But yeah, that's what we try to do. Got some good stuff planned for July. I'll give you, for instance. Let's see. Oh, on the 8th of July, we will be in the L-19 Bird Dog. We're going to take amphibian model. We're going to do this for vintage aviation flying, and we're going to do a so we're going to be on a floater plane, and basically we're going to take off and land on floaters on water. Let's see, what else do we have? On the 12th of July, we'll be flying from Cape Town to Johannesburg in the A320. Let's see, what else is there? And on the 14th of July, we'll be in the military version of the Bird Dog, and we will be over Vietnam, I believe. Yeah. On the 15th, we'll be in July. Tomorrow, we will be flying from where we landed before, Mick, at Creech Air Force Base, that flight we did last week. So we're going to take off from there and head to, it's called Wendover. It's in Utah. But it's quite a bit of flying, so if you want to join and you just want to just get some hours in that Spitfire, you're more than welcome to join. You can kind of do what you did last time and all that, so it's up to you. Be happy to have you along. So, but those are the two airport codes there, Mick, if you write them down. KINS is Creech Air Force Base, Indian Springs. That's where we landed last Saturday. And then we're heading to KENV Wendover. So I think that's Nevada to Utah. So we'll got a bit of flying tomorrow to do. So if you want to join, or if you want to only do part of it, you're more than welcome to. It's up to you. So yeah, if anybody wants to join tomorrow, West Europe server. We'll get. I'll start the stream up at about 7:20. We'll get in there, so that gives you time to find us on the online and everything. So. Anybody who wants to join, you're more than welcome to. Or if you just want to hang out and watch, you're more than welcome to do that as well. Should be some nice scenery along the way. Now, the runway we're going to land on, I was hoping, because there's two runways that are our destination. So we got two runways where we're heading. There's a shorter runway, which is what we're going to land on, but I thought, quite honestly, that it was going to be a grass field. It is not. It is, according to what I read, it's asphalt. So it's going to be a bit tricky. Let's go out here and I'll show you real quick why. So most of our tail draggers have a wheel in the back here on the tail. This has this right here. That's it for the tail. So of course on a grass strip that works very well. Get back in here because it looks like we're going all over the place. On a asphalt field, for the 10,000 watt. Okay, cool. glad to have you along, Mick. You're more than welcome to be there. I will be back in the Lightning tomorrow, P-38. But if you want to fly the Spitfire, go for it. You know, if that's what you feel comfortable doing, that's quite all right. So yeah, we got some good stuff coming up in July. Now that all is subject to change, and here's why. Uh, we there's still several Thursdays before Sim Update 10 comes out, which is expected sometime in August. And then from there we have still more time from August to November. Now, I'm guessing, and I could be wrong, I'm guessing they're going to target the release of all that free stuff that we're getting in November probably around mid. At least the week before Thanksgiving here in America, because then they're going to go on their holiday over in Microsoft for Thanksgiving. So they're going to take some time off. So I think they'll try to get it out round about then, about a week or so before Thanksgiving, maybe 2 weeks prior, but I'm guessing basic plane, so I don't really know. Oh, no, just if you want, it's whatever you feel comfortable with flying. That's the key, Nick. That's all that matters, is whatever you feel comfortable flying. If you want to fly the Spitfire again, you're more than welcome to. If you want to try something different, try something different. It's entirely up to you. I mean, if you want, we can, you know, I think the Spitfire would be fine. Get some more time in there. Just, have some fun with it. What we'll eventually do, folks, and I've been kicking this idea around. And right now, we're only doing the multiplayers on Saturdays. I think eventually we'll just have it open all the time. The only problem is that sometimes the multiplayer servers are a bit suspect. They may be stable at first, and all of a sudden they're just like garbage. But we will eventually have it open all the time. It's just that for me, I pick nice. Well, they're all nice in their own way, Joseph. That's the thing. I look now. I'm gonna say this, and I'm not gonna try to call it any names. No, I'm not gonna call it. Not even try. I'm not gonna call it any names. On Wednesday's flight with Captain Arish was absolutely amazing. We took off. We headed over the water, landed at this nice little island airport. Really beautiful scenery. It was great all around. Now somebody wanted to fly the Concorde on that flight. And it's like, to me, it's almost like you're bringing a tank to a fist fight. It's like way over both airports would not support the Concorde for takeoff and landing. Just no way. You would run it. You'd be coming in so fast. You would go past the runway. You would go right off, and that would be it. The comment that was made is, a plane is a plane. No. Some planes are built for very specific things. Like the Concorde is built to go across, for instance, across the Atlantic from New York to Heathrow, from JFK to Heathrow, or Heathrow to JFK. That's what it was built for. It's not built for flying at 3,000 feet or something like that. It's too much plane. But if I crash, it doesn't matter. I'm having fun. Well, but wouldn't you want to make it all the way to the end and land and say, "Hey, I made it"? I mean, isn't that fun as well? Maybe, But when somebody, but a plane is a plane. No, well, in theory, yes. But when you're flying, you got to look at what you have available. Kind of like what Nick said. I don't know what plane to fly. But if you have the Spitfire, Mick, which you do, bring the Spitfire. But if you don't want to, if you're like, well, I want to try something else, just remember there's a speed difference. If you go in the Cessna 172 and I'm in the P-38 Lightning, I'm going to leave you behind. It's going to take you longer to get there than it will me. But but that's the thing is if you're flying on a multiplayer, you don't want to go slower than the streamer, because then, we're going to be waiting for you to get there, kind of thing. But sometimes that's okay. If everybody is taking their time, or for instance, if you run into some weather and you've got a headwind and it's taking you longer to get there, sometimes that does happen. But every plane is nice. I wish well, part of it, Joseph, is it's not available on the PlayStation, first off. So you can't fly it on the the PS4 would not be able to handle this sim graphically at all. But the thing is, it takes practice, just like when you guys do GT7. It takes practice to get good on a circuit with a particular car, for instance, until you're zipping through there and it's like no big deal. But it's the practice part. I was, and Mick will always attest to this. Initially, I was all over the place flying. Like, I could not keep the plane straight. I was like constantly fighting it. And landings were atrocious. Absolutely terrible. But if you keep trying, and that's the key, you can't just go like okay, I'll use this analogy. Everybody knows who Danica, well, I think most everybody knows who Danica Patrick is, right? Racing driver. She burst into the Indy Racing League. Really didn't do all that much. She had like one win. And then she went over to NASCAR. Didn't do very well over there. And here's why. You can't expect to arrive at the track, go out there, qualify in the top 10 without telling your race engineer, for instance, hey, this is what the car's doing. We need to can we change this? It's either too loose or too tight. We got to find some balance. You have to communicate. Now, if you are a driver who does not communicate that sort of information to your race engineer and the mechanics and all that, then they're not going to know what to change, and then you're never going to do very well at all. So in that same sort of, if you don't practice, you can't expect, now some people will do it, you can't expect to jump in a 747 and know what to do unless you're already a 747 pilot. Then you could probably get away with it. But an average new simmer is that it's not going to go well. You're going to crash. It's going to be a mess. So you have to, the way most every pilot, and Captain R has talked about this, generally you start off in general aviation, you spend some time there, and then you start working your way towards bigger aircraft, and there's a progression, so that you're learning along the way. But some people, they're fine. They get a general aviation pilot's license. Hey, that's fine for them. They're not looking to be a 747 pilot or a 777 pilot or a 787 pilot or anything. They just want to be able to take off in their little Cessna 172, fly from point A to point B, have lunch, fly back, whatever. But it does take practice. Even in the real world, for pilot licensing and everything, you have to practice. You have to get those hours in and keep improving. Otherwise, the instructor's not going to sign off that you know anything. They're going to be like, nope, you haven't shown any kind of, you haven't improved. So without that, it's kind of hard to you know. That's where we took off from. So our other airport was somewhere over there. It's saying that, but I don't think that was it. It does not look like. No. Anyways, that's all right. So yeah, in real life, it takes practice. A race car driver, yep, you have to show up for practice. You have to run your laps. You have to communicate to your race engineers. Well, the 747, it can. It's just it takes time to get used to how it works. That's the thing. Just like the Concorde, I'm still not to grips with the Concorde. I don't know that I'm going to be able to do that on the 28th. I might have to put that somewhere in July until I can get more time in the Concorde to feel comfortable. Matter of fact, I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to come up with something else for the 28th, which is in 4 days. That's on a Tuesday. So I was going to do the Concorde from Heathrow to JFK, but I don't feel comfortable enough flying it yet on a stream. I'm going to have to cancel. I'm going to have to find something else. But the 747, it is its own. It's got its own quirks and everything. It's just, what I learned to do on something like that is, learn how to start it up and then take off, taxi out to a runway and take off. And just get a feel for that's the thing. Is the good thing and the bad thing about Microsoft Flight Simulator is there's so much stuff, even on the base game, there's still so much stuff that it's like, okay, where do I spend time flying? Do I fly in the general aviation stuff? Do I fly in the jetliners? What do I do? Where should I spend my time at? That's the key. But there's so much that it's like hard to spend time in everything. It really is. So that's why I'm doing what I'm doing is where now then maybe that will help. Okay. All right. Now I see the mission in Microsoft Flight Simulator. Okay. So let's do this. Next week, if anybody wants, on starting Monday. Good morning, Scheme Echo. Thank you for the follow. Good morning. How are you? Starting on Monday, when we are on our next leg 17 of our 32 leg flight, we're leaving from Jaysk and going to Gwater. I'm not sure how it's pronounced, but anyway, it's a 248 nautical mile flight. It's a straight shot. So if anybody wants to join, and on Tuesday we're gonna change it to a A320. So if you want to fly along, Nick, for instance, if you want to fly the A320, we'll do a flight. I will show you my flight plan. I will try to share that with you, or I'll try to find a way to do it in the sim that it's easy for you to figure out what we're doing. So that way you can plug the same information in, and then you can fly with me as well. How about that? And then that way you get more time. We'll try to keep the flights simple as far as time goes. If you want to join in, you're more than welcome to. The 32 leg journey, I'm in the Junkers 52, which is not very fast. If you want to fly in something similar, you're more than welcome to. Or if you just want to fly along in general, you're more than welcome to. Just remember either roughly the same speed-ish as the Junkers 52, maybe a little bit faster, maybe, somewhere around there, and you can just fly along. So, anybody who wants to join. So, we'll be on the West Europe servers. I will... I'm going to try to find a way. How am I going to do it? Okay, here's what we'll do. The best thing to do, if you can, get on my Discord, and then like the night before, I will put in the departure airport. If we're so like on the A320, we'll have the departure airport up, and then you can just find a gate, whatever one you want to fly out of from. The departure path out of the airport, the SID, or the SID as they call it, and then the flight plan, and then our arrival airport, including the arrival portion of the flight, the star as they call it, and then which, if we're doing an ILS approach or whatever, for which runway we're landing on. Okay, I'll put all that information in like the night before our flight. So like Monday night, I will put in for Tuesday's flight. So join the Discord. If if you want to fly a different, different way to get there, you're more than welcome to. But don't expect a Cessna 152 to keep up, because or anything like that. If you want to fly along, you're more than welcome to. If you want to fly in the Boeing 737, you're more than welcome to do that. I will be in the A320. So, they're comparable in speed, roughly, and in cruising altitudes and everything. So you're more than welcome to fly that if you want to. So, yeah. Then maybe it's the difficult part is, and people have asked me to do like 6-hour flights and all that. It's a lot for me to do on my own. I can't. It's very difficult to do a long distance sort of thing. I mean, I would like to, but it's just it's very tiring for me. I will try the A320 with you. I'm just trying to be brave, but I will give it a go. Okay. Well, and I get you, Joseph. He has his own schedule. I can ask him if he wants to join sometime, but he has the things that he's doing, especially with the train stuff now that the steam trains are out. So yeah, but that's up to him. Plus he's got time, has to spend, well, not that he has to, he does try to spend time with Amanda as well. Which is what he should want to do. So, yeah. But but yeah, so that's what we'll do, Mick. I'll come up with a plan. It'll be nothing super extravagant. We're just going to have a nice flight on Tuesday in the A320. How about that? And that way you can get some time in the plane and enjoy it and just get some hours in. And that's one of the reasons why I fly with Captain Arsh on Mondays and Wednesdays, is that I'm flying, but the great thing is I'm not worried about the chat. I'm not worried about keeping an eye on the chat. That is Captain Arish's chat. Just like tonight when I'm on the farm with you, Mick, I'm going to focus on farming. I'm not going to be looking at the chat. I'm going to say hi in the chat, and then I'm going to minimize the chat window so I can just get on with farming. Because, otherwise I'm looking and then I'm stopping and answering questions or whatever. It's just, it's just too much to I have big L plates for the plane. Big L plates. I'm not sure what that means. I'm trying to think what you're talking about, Nick. If you care to elaborate, I'm kind of lost there. Sorry. All right, folks, we're 22 nautical miles from our destination. Sorry. Well, we've had a good flight. I've really enjoyed this. But yeah, get on the. If anybody wants to know more about what we're doing and everything, or wants to join, please join the. Don't worry about that, Mick. You don't have to do that. Anybody wants to join, then you're more than welcome to. Um, so. Yeah. So yeah, I guess that's. But yeah, that's what I was getting at. So yeah, when I fly with Captain Arish on Mondays and Wednesdays, I just fly. I'm not really trying to pay attention to the chat. It's just, matter of fact, I have to stop paying attention to it, to be honest, because otherwise it's going to drive me absolute. Yeah, there's just. I don't want to say anything more that's going to be taken as derogatory. It's just some things just make me want to pull what little bit of hair I have out. So anyway, so yeah, we'll drop some altitude here, and then what we'll do is we'll fly over our destination there, get an eye on our runway. I'm excited for the flights. Well, good. That's the important part. If you just want to get the hours in, we can set, and I'm going to try to keep it a very short, like an hour and a half. So it's not going to be, we're going to be sitting for hours on end. It's just, we're going to take off, we're going to climb up, fly along, start to descend, land, and call it a day. So if you want to fly along, you're more than welcome to. And I'm trying to, what I want to do, folks, is I want to try to encourage, if you want to fly in like the the A320, for instance, or the 730 or 737, you can join us on Tuesdays. Or if you want to fly when I do the business jets or the regional prop in the Embraer 110, if you want to fly something similar, you're more than welcome to. Or if you just want to fly in general, and then that's what we'll do. But I'm going to try to mix it up so that so that way we're not just stuck on one particular plane. Try to fly a little bit of everything. So, and then on Mondays and Wednesdays, again, if people want to join, but remember, it's not going to be we're not going to be climbing up 37,000 feet. We're going to take off. We're going to head to our destination. And that's going to be it. We're not going to be, because that's basically how they flew. They took off. They made their way towards their next destination, and either they stopped there for the night or whatever. So if you want to fly along, more than welcome to. But it's going to be kind of slow. But there's some beautiful scenery, over the desert areas and stuff. So you're more than welcome to join for that. It's entirely up to you. And then Thursdays, military aviation, if I'm flying a jet. Now, that's going to be pretty soon what we're going to do. And I do want to get back in the F-15. I still want to get that flight from Lockheed Heath over to Ramstein. If you want to fly in a jet, you're more than welcome to. Or if you just want to watch, more than welcome to do that. So yeah, we're always going to. But if you want to join, and then we're going to do some. Eventually, Vintage Aviation Fridays will be General Aviation Fridays. There's a couple general aviation flights that I have planned for July that I think will be very fun. So if you want to join in on those, more than welcome to. Be in the King Air 350i. So if you want to fly, well, I know. Okay, Joseph. I don't know that you have any other. Anyway, that's fine, Joseph. So yeah, we won't do so much the vintage now. Again, there's still, between now and the end of July, for instance, even sometime in August, whenever Sim Update 10 comes out, there's still plenty of Thursdays. So if there's something that comes out that could fit into a general aviation, or what do you call it, or vintage stuff, then it will. That's fine, Mick, to join it. Yeah, whenever you want. If you just want to fly, just to get the hours in and just get the practice, there's nothing wrong with that. Be happy to have you here. Whatever you want to fly, it's fine. I knew what you meant, Mick. I knew what you meant. But yeah, whatever you want to fly, it is, within reason, of course. You know, but if you're not sure, then we can talk about it on Discord, um, if you want. But generally, what I'll try to do is I'll try to fly in planes that you might have in your repertoire for the base game stuff. So that way, if you want to fly the same plane, then you can. And we can, for like the King Air 350i, we can go over the setup of the autopilot stuff, and our altitudes and everything, and that sort of thing. So yeah, we'll now also recognize some. No, I'll put this disclaimer out there. I don't know everything about all the aircraft, for instance. I will try. Oh, so there's our line finally, way over there. So that meant our other airport is way back over there somewhere. But there's our magenta line, I think. Yeah, it should be right. It should be over there. There's our. I don't think it's the one to our. Oh well. But I'll try to answer questions as best as I can, and help out as much as I can. But if you're having problems with things, it may not be. It may be something that I can't. I will fly an aircraft that sort of matches what you're flying. Don't want to change. No, no, no. It's not. No, that's fine, Mick. No, I know you don't want to change my schedule. But what I'm saying is that if, for instance, when we do a general aviation flight, I think you have access to the King Air 350i. So when we fly that route or that plan, you can be in the King Air 355 or 350i as well. If not, if you don't have that for whatever reason, I can change the aircraft to something that you may have. It's not going to change the schedule. It's just that if you don't have that, but you have a different Cessna or Beechcraft aircraft that would be a better fit for you, then we can work with that as well. It's not a problem. It's more about getting the hours in and just enjoying the flying versus the anything else. But yeah, if you don't have it, then we'll talk about it. We can talk about it in Discord, and I can try to find a. Okay, there's two. Oh, I see what happened. Okay. it treated it like I was supposed to go here and then to our other airport. Okay, interesting. All right, well, it's fine. Okay, I see what it did. Yeah, it says go here, turn down to the other one, and then probably come back up here. That's all right. It happens sometimes. But yeah, we'll try to find things that fit and that you can enjoy flying and learning to fly. That's the key. Yep, that's exactly what happened. It said to go, yeah, all right. That's why I didn't get the line. Oh well, we've had a nice flight otherwise. All right, let's take a look at our airfield here. Go ahead and get rid of that. We don't need that now, since now we know that the system was a bit suspect. All right, I think that's our runway right where the reticle is right there. So there's the marker, but just on that other, it's a short runway, but we're going to fly over it and have a look. And then we're going to try to come around. Now the tricky part of landing the biplane is we don't have any flaps at all. So we're going to come in kind of flat. The approach is going to be kind of flat. I think, and that's why we're going to fly over. We're flying over the runway that runs east to west, I believe. Ours is basically going to run north-south, roughly. So, we're going to have a look and then make sure, because it looks like what we're going to do is we're going to come in okay. That is that runway. All right. Kind of have a plan now, but we're going to verify things. Matter of fact, I'm going to take a quick step away for just a moment while we kind of cruise here. I'll be right back, folks. I'll put this outside so let's see what we get ready to do. Boy, that wind is just pushing us all over the place, huh? All right, let's go back over that way so we can have a look at what we're getting ready to do here. I don't think there's any big buildings in the way necessarily. Wow, a little bit of stuttering there. Alright, so that's the runway we're going to land on right there. We're going to come in over the other runway. If we can, we might put it down early. But I don't know if there's anything in the way. Like, I don't think there's no, like, you know, runway lights like you would see at a bigger airport or anything that would impede. I don't think. It doesn't look like there is. We'll just have a look here. So I think that's like part of the taxiway. Yeah, that's what it is. Okay. So I'm guessing they would prefer, the preferred runway is down here. Alright, well, here's what we can do, folks. How about this? Okay. Well, I thought they would tell us which way to land if that wasn't the appropriate approach into the airport. So, okay. That's all right. We got plenty of gas. We can get ourselves lined up here. All right, folks, I'm going to turn the laptop to the right here out of my line of sight so I can focus on the landing. I will catch up with the chat once we are on the ground. Please do not spam the chat while I'm looking away. I do have a moderator, Mick, who will take action if appropriate. If you have any questions, I'm sure Mick will be able to answer. If not, we will catch it up once we are on the ground. Thank you. No, this airport isn't. We're not very far from Paris. Charles de Gaulle Airport is somewhere over that way, I believe. So we will use Paris time zone for the time once we land. We know who or what. When I gotta put in my flight hours as well. My own tracker, the one that's in the sim is just, it's broken, unfortunately. Ooh, crap. Wow. Took right back off. Okay. Wow. Okay, we'll just run off into the grass then. Well, that was... Well, luckily we have this grass field that help us... Ooh, up. slow down. Ooh, bumpy. Well, I see the troubling thing with this plane is that if you go off the throttle too much, the engine will basically will turn off. Okay, come on, there we go. There we go. All right, so we're. But at least we had that runoff. I'm going to stay on the grass as much as possible. I was hoping there was yeah, exactly, Mick. Yeah, we're just taxiing on the grass for right now. Mick, hold on a second. While we're taxiing here, I'm gonna kind of double multitask here. If you go to this link, I'm gonna post it. If you go to this link, and if you can look up, it'll tell you what planes are available in all three versions. So there's like, it'll say the base version, what all planes you have available to you. So if you can have that available at some point whenever we talk about flying together, then that will give you an idea of what plane, like, it'll be easy for you to determine for sure that you have that plane in your hangar. I'll try not to fly things that I know you don't have access to, so that way you can practice with the ones that you do have available. All right, I'm going to try to. Because I think the very first part of the list is all stuff that is like the base version, and then a few more that are like in the deluxe, and then the premium deluxe, and then deluxe. Ooh boy, see, it's really difficult to steer this thing. I don't want to cause it to nose over either. I guess you can. It just takes a bit of patience, that's all. It is easy to, or it is possible to. But I know the A320 is one of the planes available in the base game. I think the King Air 350i is as well. Yeah. Yeah, see, shoot. Throttle back too much, it'll... Oh, come on, plane. There we go. Ooh. Just a little bit more. Just a little bit more. All right. Well, how do I guess I'm just going to have to do this. Oh yeah, I think you did buy that. I think you said you would. Or maybe it was the F-14, one of those two. Anyway, we'll sort it out later, Mick. Is there... No, not yet, Joseph. I think the plane that the Red Arrows use might be coming later on to for the Xbox. It might be available right now on the PC, but not on the Xbox yet. So anyway, that will do it for today, folks. I greatly appreciate. We'll let the stream kind of catch up here, and I got to put my get my hour tracker. Make sure it's updated. There we go. All right. So that will do it for today, folks. I do greatly appreciate everybody coming in. Thank you, Joseph, and hanging out today. I will be back tomorrow. Multiplayer flight, West Europe server should be the one that we're going to be on. If you look up in the corner there, you could see my screen name, Kermit D. Frog 881. That is who you're going to be looking for tomorrow once the multiplayer is open. I'm going to try to get the stream started, get things going at about 7:20. So we have time for everybody to come in and join if they want. So yeah, 7:30 Eastern, 11:30 UTC, 12:30 UK. Oh, by the way, welcome to Beauvais, France. Local time is 15:14 in the afternoon. We understand, appreciate the fact that you have a ton of options when it comes to your Microsoft Flight Simulator live stream viewing pleasures. And we're glad that you chose to fly with us today. P-38 Lightning tomorrow, 7:30 Eastern, 11:30 UTC, 12:30 UK. Do join us if you want. Otherwise, do join us to hang out and watch if you want. Thank you once again to my two subscribers, Mick and Patrice. Appreciate their patronage and all that good stuff. Anyway, that will do it. Do enjoy the rest of your Friday morning, afternoon, evening. I have been and always will be your host and pilot, Uncle B. Until then, peace, live long and prosper.